different kind of video today. It's not going to be actual drawing, but it's going to be related to it. So last week, National Portfolio Day came around and I drove up to Boston, Massachusetts, and it was a lot of fun. So I just figured I'd share with you my experience and maybe give you a couple of tips if you're thinking about going to another National Portfolio Day, and just tell you what was helpful to me, and if I could redo it, what I'd change. So I didn't bring a completed portfolio, I just brought them some of my stuff. And one of the things that I can't show them is all the stuff I've done related to like anime and Dragon Ball and Naruto, because they don't really want to see unoriginal characters and they want to see things that really tell them more about you, something that's personal and wasn't, another person's creation, which is understandable. It just eliminates most of the drawings that I've done. But I've been working in school and I've been coming up with a lot of new pieces, and I'll be showing you what I showed them just to give you an idea of what they're commenting on. So if you don't know, National Portfolio Day is a bunch of different representatives from colleges around the country that are art-based will come. They'll give you critique on your portfolio and different works that you've done, tell you what you can improve, things they like, and it's really helpful if you're thinking about going to an art college. The first thing you'll notice is just how many kids are there. There's probably near 1,000 kids there and a lot of different skill levels and talents, and it's just easy to focus on your work and try not to get intimidated or influenced by anybody else or what they're being told, because at the end of the day, it's about your work. And that will probably lead me to my first point, which is be confident. A lot of these colleges want to know that you're sure of yourself and your work, and they will like that, but don't be too cocky. You want to, be open to critique and don't defend any points or advice that they're trying to give you, because at the end of the day, they are trying to help. I myself was there for around 3 hours and got a chance to meet with 4 different representatives of 4 different colleges, which were Massachusetts College of Art and Design, Tufts University, Pratt, and Lesley University. My second point would probably be prioritizing colleges. Now, you don't want to go see a lot of colleges that you could see normally that are local, because you could set up a portfolio review anytime with those colleges. So you want to, if you live on the eastern side of the country, you want to definitely go see some colleges that you wouldn't normally get to go see on the western side, which would be really helpful, and it'll give you a lot of different points of view that you normally wouldn't get. But also, don't solely base your prioritization on location. Make sure it's on schools that you want to go to or are interested in, at least. As I previously mentioned, I went to 4 colleges, and a lot of them provide different feedback. And segueing into my third point, I think that you should not disregard anyone's advice or critique, but take it with a grain of salt. And what I mean by that is, if one college is telling you something that you don't personally agree with, like they don't like something about your style, don't change yourself trying to pander to that audience. Don't try to, change your drawings because you think it'll give you a better chance of getting into that college. Obviously, if it's a valid critique on the actual technique of your drawing, don't, disregard that. But, if they're trying to tell you to do something that you're not either comfortable with or you don't think is personally authentic to you, don't, follow it. It's not going to be your work then. But anyways, the first college that I went to was MassArt, like I mentioned previously, and I talked to a man there that was very nice, but I don't think he gave me exactly the feedback that I wanted to, but don't get discouraged by that. He mostly told me to draw more from life, which is helpful advice. I've been told that by a lot of other people, and I do try to draw from life as much as I can, but that was really his only advice, and I kind of had more anticipation going into that as I waited in the 45-minute line, and I just don't feel like that was a great start to my trip. But that's another piece I would give to you, is that just don't let one college affect how you perceive the rest of the advice that you're going to get. Because if I had just gotten in a bad mood and I was like, oh, this is a waste of time, I probably wouldn't have taken as much advantage of the rest of the experience as I did. And the second college I went to was Lesley University, who was hosting the event, and they had a lot of representatives. I got matched up with this woman that was very helpful. She gave me a lot of insight into things like you could definitely tell her style was a lot more loose and unfinished. And so the pieces that I have where I kind of let things fall out into the background and don't have as much like detail in them, she really preferred. Like I'll show you this one image I'll put right here. It's sort of like a comic book scene, and it was a contour line drawing to make use of line weight. And she didn't like that as much as she liked the rougher drafts that I showed her of that drawing, because she liked the much more loose style and not as detailed. While this is very helpful advice and I've taken it into consideration while working on newer projects that I'm working on now, I still like this piece. And just because someone criticizes something, I don't think that you should get discouraged by that, or start over or do something rash just because of one person's opinion. Then I showed her some of the digital drawings I've done, like the Spider-Man picture, and she really liked that. She liked my use of color, because a lot of my other portfolio was mostly black and white graphite drawings or charcoal or black and white portraits, and she was surprised to see some color. And that leads me into my fourth point, which is vary your work. Bring in as much of different types of media as you have. Now, don't do specific pieces just for variety, but definitely try to push yourself to explore different mediums, because colleges really like to see different media. And it also helps them see what your strengths and weaknesses are, and it shows you what your strengths and weaknesses are. Because if you've been drawing with a pen and pencil your whole life, and you never tried like charcoal or paint, you might find something that you didn't even know you liked. And discovery of what you like to do, but it also shows colleges that you take risks and you go outside of your comfort zone and you explore as much as you can. And I know I got a little off track there, but another thing I wanted to mention, I guess would be my fifth point, is that these colleges do take academics into consideration, but of the 4 colleges I went to, only one asked me about my GPA, which was kind of refreshing to see that, our colleges are gonna focus on art, which is, sounds basic and, simple to expect, but, a lot of times when you talk with colleges, they're very academic based. So it's nice to see that they're taking the art seriously, and they want to make sure that that's their #1 priority. Now, the next college that I went to go see was Pratt University, and this was also really helpful. And the woman that I talked to was very nice, and oh yeah, everyone there is super nice. So don't if you're stressed about people being mean or not liking your work and kind of brushing you off, that is not the environment. It is such a friendly environment the whole way through that if that's one of your concerns, just drop it, because you're gonna have a great time and everyone there is super friendly. And the woman I talked to at Pratt really liked my contour drawing that I showed before, and I also have this bicycle drawing which I'm in the midst of working on. And I don't have a picture of that right now because it's not finished, but basically it's kind of take on the whole bicycle drawing prompt that RISD usually gives, and it's kind of putting a spin on it, because most are very analytical bike drawings, so I'm trying to take the bike apart and draw all the individual parts, and yeah, I'll share it when I'm finished, but it's kind of hard to explain. Anyway, she really was a fan of that, and she also liked my digital drawings, but she also put an emphasis on no characters that are already created. Like when I showed her the Spider-Man drawing, she said that she liked it, but she was very dismissive on do not include something like that in your portfolio. So that's definitely something I can tell you guys for sure, is please do not include any non-original works or borrowed characters. And then lastly, the final university that I went to see was Lesley University in Cambridge, Mass. And From the moment I got there, I could tell that they're a little bit different, and you're gonna see a little bit of bias in me describing them, but that's only because they had a really good setup and they made sure that you felt like a priority. And not to say that none of the other colleges didn't make you feel like a priority, but the way Lesley approached things was when you're in line, they ask you what you're interested in. And then based upon that, they'll pair you up with a representative that fits your field. So if you're into illustration and they, pair you up with someone in film design, that's not going to be a great match. So Lesley avoids this by pairing you up with someone that makes sense. So I got matched up with one of their animation members at the college, and she was really helpful. She loved a lot of my facial sketches and what the heck? That's a hair. She loved my facial studies, and she really liked the comic book sort of drawing that I showed earlier. And she really liked the Spider-Man drawing, and she again, touched on that point of no unoriginal characters. But I really liked how Lesley addressed everything, and they gave a lot of great feedback on certain things that I can touch up on and fix and focus. And a lot of those are personal to me, so they might not help you, but just know that these people are here to help, and they really do give great advice based on you and your drawing styles. And then I guess the last piece of advice I could give to you guys is to just have fun. And I know that sounds super generic, but when I went in, I was so nervous, and if I could redo it, I would take a much more laid back approach. Not so laid back that colleges don't think you're serious, but try to be comfortable in showing them your work, which I know is not an easy task, but trust me, it'll pay off and it'll really enrich your experience. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for me. If you're not interested in what I have coming up, you can go ahead and click away now, but if you are, that's great. My uploads have not been nearly as consistent as they should be, and that's due to the fact that I am moving soon. So I've been busy, getting my all my stuff packed up, and it's kind of hard to set up a drawing studio when you're on the move. So that's kind of been halting me a little bit. My camera is shot too, the battery, I don't know. I'm working on it. So I've been using my phone for most of my recordings like I am now. But I'm still uploading. I'm doing a lot of work in school too with drawing. So a lot of time being taken up, but I'm still trying to find a little bit for this channel. So if you want to see more of that, stay tuned and go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you found this video helpful, or if you know anyone that's going to National Portfolio Day, go ahead and share it to them, and hopefully that will help them out. Guys, I hope that helps some of you out, and that's all I can really ask for with one of these commentary videos. So in the meantime, I'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.